We're Matt and Cass. 1 year ago, we traded in our life on the road for a 32-acre piece of raw land in rural Tennessee. And since we arrived, we've been hard at work, transforming this land into our off-grid homestead. There's been ups, and there's been downs, but little by little, we're seeing this dream come alive, and we're bringing you along for it all. Come run away with us.
It's the ranch life, baby! Good morning. It is 6:30 a.m. here at the Runaway Ranch, and I am off to milk Charlotte. She's very particular on what time she wants me to milk, so between 6:30 and 6:40, your girl has to be up milking her goat. Farm life seems extremely routine. You know, like your animals have schedules that you have to be on because that's what they expect out of you. So every morning she's already waiting for me, bawling at the gate like, come on mom, let's do this thing. And for the last couple days, I'm not sure why, she's been a little bit of a pain in the butt on the stand, which is funny because usually she sits pretty good for me, but a little bit of a pain. So we'll see how this morning goes. Good morning, baby. Good girl. We gonna do this good today? I'm not gonna be a pain in the butt for mom today? Whenever you're milking an animal, you wanna make sure you clean them off really well. I think that's one of the biggest things about milking your own animals is that you wanna make sure that your product is very, very sanitary. So you clean and you dry, and then you get to milking. How you feeling? I've been realizing her bag is starting to like go down just a little bit. And I think it's because Sophia, her baby, isn't nursing as much as she maybe once was. So I think her baby is weaning a little bit, which means her milk production's going down a little bit. You ready, baby? Now milking has been like one of my favorite things to learn. See, she's already a pain in the butt. So milking has been like one of my favorite things to learn how to do as a farmer. It's really cool experience, and once you get the hang of it, it doesn't even seem like, I mean, it's a chore for sure. You know, you get the hang of it, you get your own technique, and everybody does it just a little bit different, and every goat is very, very different. And you can kind of just move their bag around a little bit, and then keep going. Today's gonna be fun because we're gonna actually make cheese with y'all today out of her milk. So it feels a bit full circle, and you know, cheese production's huge for us. Me and Matt love cheese and eat quite a bit of it. So the idea that we can have our own animals to make our own cheese is really cool. And I used to hobble her when I first got her. So I basically like kind of move her legs so that she couldn't kick. Because the worst thing is when you're milking and they kick the bowl and the milk goes everywhere, and then all that work is to nothing. You can tell when she's almost finished being milked out because her production starts to go pretty low there at the end. And being that she's still a nursing mom, she'll never let me get everything. So if she was not nursing anymore, her babies were totally weaned, she might actually be a little bit better and try to be like, you know what, take the rest, I don't need it, I'm not serving my baby. The fact that she has a baby that needs her milk, won't give me everything. And patience is an absolute virtue when milking. Sometimes it goes so smooth that it's just like another day in the life of a farmer. And then sometimes it's a circus, it's a rodeo. And that is some fresh goat milk. She did okay in the stand today. She wasn't the best, but she did pretty good. I like to give her some loves afterwards just to let her know that I am proud of her We're keeping good. Good mamas. Good mamas. Come on, mama. Now I come here and let her baby out. Usually Sophia nurses almost immediately post being let out. Hey baby. Hi baby. Gosh, it is a chilly morning for August here, which is so wild. We've had the last couple actually like chilly fall kind of days and I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. I was craving summer so much this year, but it's been hot, so having these early like chilly mornings, so good. I got the milk. I gotta go strain it. No hair, debris, or anything falls through. Put it in the freezer for about an hour, and then I rotate it into the fridge, and then boom, you got fresh goat's milk.
It's time to make some cheese. Alright, so for making cheese, we start collecting the milk from Charlotte and freezing it to keep it fresh. And then once we collect enough, usually we do at least a half a gallon of milk total for a batch of cheese, but I think today we might be close to a gallon. We take the milk out of the freezer, we keep most of it in the deep freezer in the cabin, then we defrost it, measure out our milk so we get our ratios right, and then we make some cheese.
Don't give me no pop, no pop. Don't give me no tea, no tea. Just give me that milk, moo, 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 moo. Just give me that milk, moo, 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 moo. I don't know if that'll make it in.
You are a weirdo.
I don't know if that'll make it in. What do you got there, baby?
I got our defrosted milk. And what I do, because we don't measure out the milk as we freeze it, but as I'm defrosting it, I put it into these mason jars, which are marked by cups, and then the recipe that I'm using follows quarts. So for every 4 cups is technically 1 recipe. So we got up to 3/4 of a gallon, so 12 cups. And that is what we will be making cheese with today. What I'm going to do is try, this is only our second time doing it, but I'm going to try to make half of it more like a crumbly goat cheese, then the other half a little more like a spread. So fingers crossed that works. We're going to start slowly heating this milk up, and then we will, what's it called? Coagulate it.
Like Matt said, this is only our second time ever actually making the cheese. It takes us a few times of milking her to actually get enough that we want to spend the time to make it. But it came out super good last time, a little bit too lemony last time, so this time we're going to bring it down.
Because we use lemon as the acid for coagulation.
Coagulation.
I'm just going to keep saying
Coagulation.
Citric acid is the easiest thing to use. We just wanted to make it a few times before we went ahead and ordered citric acid. So today I think I'm going to do a combo of lemon juice and vinegar.
And maybe a little bit more vinegar on the recipe than we did last time, just because last time it was a little too lemony, but still delicious.
My lemon juice extractor for coagulation. So to my understanding, the key of making a good cheese, the way that we're doing it, and I don't think we said, we're making Chev, I believe it's called, farmer's cheese, so super simple. But the key to making it good is heating up the milk slowly, and then we have our thermometer that we just keep checking the temperature of the milk with, which I would expect right now it's nowhere near where it needs to be. We are just slowly heating it up on the stove up to 185 degrees, but with 3/4 of a gallon of milk in here, it's important we stir it very frequently so that the bottom half of the pot doesn't get hot while this top half stays cold. So I'm just here stirring, taking temperatures, juicing lemons, making cheese.
days like today's, there's nothing like crazy project that we need to do, but we're making our own food, which is like a huge part of homesteading. It's not always like building things and, you know, making things better and better and better. Sometimes it's like, you know, having the windows open, the doors open, and making cheese.
All right, well, that's
enough.
That's it, yep. So we got lemon juice now. What do we want to do with it? Make lemonade?
Make lemonade.
When cheese making gives you lemons.
Make lemonade.
Make lemonade. So if you haven't been able to tell by now, why did we get goats? It's for this. It's for cheese making, and I'm really, really excited about it. Again, right now we're just starting out learning just how to make the simplest versions of cheese, but eventually we want to actually get into cheese aging. We want to grow out our herd a little bit bigger. We've considered looking at sheep as well, potentially. We don't know for sure yet. Right now we're just leaning towards goats. But yeah, we want to go into making like a Parmesan or a cheddar or mozzarellas, and we've had friends around us that do that. And we love cheese, so being able to offset all the cheese that we buy at the grocery store, or at least a good portion of the cheese that we buy at the grocery store, through our dairy goats here, will be pretty awesome. It is 54% humidity in here. 75.3 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty great. Huh?
What a dream. I did find out that I have poop on my pants. Farm life. Caught with poop on my pants.
Getting close. What are we at?
It's taking an awfully long time.
It does take an awfully long time. But they tell you to heat it really slow, so I take that very literally, and maybe I take it too literally, but I don't want to heat it too fast.
Matt is a literal person.
Very literal person. We're at 175. We need 10 more degrees. Getting impatient.
We could also be doing something else, but we're
it's
just
hard
sitting
because
here.
you have to stir it every couple of minutes. So.
Watching milk boil.
Not boil.
Boil.
Watching
warm
milk
up.
slowly climb to 185 degrees. Not boil, honey. Just being literal.
Just being literal.
We're at temperature. Let's cut the heat. Alright, so now you simply cut the heat. You take whatever your acid is. Like we said, we're doing a combination of lemon juice and vinegar. You pour it in. There's definitely like some lemon pulp to that. I'm not sure if that was going to be ideal, but it's going to have to be. And then your cheese curds start to form.
Yeah, like instantly, huh?
Yep. Literally instantly. Just make sure it's all mixed in. And it's not like cow's milk, where it'll form bigger cheese curds, from my understanding. These are very little cheese curds, but here, let me get a little spoonful, and you'll see. See? Cheese curds.
Nice.
I'm going to give that one more stir, and then you just let it sit here to cool down for 30 minutes. Then we're going to strain it through cheesecloth, hang it up for an hour for all the liquid to drip out, and then you got goat cheese.
So the process is actually very, very simple with a little bit of patience. We started getting a little impatient there for a second. But with a little bit of patience, the process is really, really simple. And you could actually just go to your local farmer's market or whatever and buy a thing of whole milk and do it yourself at home as well. You don't need to have a goat and be milking her every morning and doing all that craziness to make homemade cheese. I was just thinking what's so cool about doing this is that we waited so long to be able to do this, right? There were so many steps before we were able to make our own cheese. You know, truly like farm to table right here. You know, we had to get goats, do all our research, build a goat pen, learn how to milk, all of that good stuff.
I mean, typically it's a longer process, but we were able to find a mom already in milk.
Yeah. So usually it's even longer, but like, it's so cool that we're like finally here and making our own cheese.
Hang on. Unseasoned. Oh, it's really hot. Hang on. I'll let it burn on my finger rather than your tongue. Ouch.
Is that hot?
I mean, it's warm. Good now. Is it good? Is it a little less lemony?
It's a little less lemony, which is what we wanted.
It's way softer too.
Yeah.
Really good.
Really good.
Okay.
I remember when we were doing renovations on the camper and I was so nervous that the sink was going to be way too big.
In the space, yeah.
In the space, and...
No, I'm very happy
with it. I am so happy that we didn't go for a smaller sink. Because we obviously use it. I mean, we have like huge things of mason jars. Now we are carrying more food and there's more. Now we got cheese dangling. Like, there's a lot that we do in the sink that I'm very happy that we got a big sink.
I'm eating the leftover cheese curds that are in here. God, it's good. I think it's better than the last time.
Yeah? Good.
Super rich. Muy rico.
Muy rico.
Baby Sophia and I want to take a minute to thank the sponsor of today's video, BLUETTI. And if you've been watching our content for any time, you know that we've been using BLUETTI products here for a very long time. We've been using them for about 9 months now, and we've used a couple different products that BLUETTI has. This all started with our BLUETTI AC300 and B300 system that first we used in our camper, and now we use in our cabin as you've seen in other videos, to power our deep freezers, power tools, and everything else we have going on behind me. And this here is the BLUETTI 180, which, as you saw with Sophia as a size comparison, is even smaller than a baby Nigerian dwarf goat. And this size makes the BLUETTI 180 extremely portable, weighs in at just over 35 pounds. Now 35 pounds isn't extremely light, but is plenty light enough to be portable, and this extra weight is what allows it to be so powerful. And what we like most about this portability here at the Runaway Ranch is that we can move it to different places that we don't currently have power. And while in a lot of these places we could always run an extension cord, we find that to be a little bit more of a pain in the butt than it's actually worth, especially because the more extension cords we have rolled out laying around, the more often we find ourselves moving them when we're driving the truck to dump a pile of leaves, or mowing the grass, or doing anything of that nature. So the portability is a huge help with this. And the BLUETTI AC 180 has a powerful 1800 watt pure sine wave continuous output inverter with 2700 watts of peak output capacity. And this is all powered by its 1152 watt hour lithium iron phosphate battery. As before in another video of ours, if I were to pick just one portable power station that could fit the need in almost any circumstance, it would be this unit. Even though our van home Jolene has a full solar system and battery system installed in her, we're planning our next camping trip to hopefully be this fall on her, and we will be bringing our BLUETTI AC 180 along because we just find it so much easier to use, especially when you're camping and you want an outdoor setup. Rather than running an extension cord out the window of Jolene, we'll be able to have this to power everything we're doing. If you head over to the BLUETTI website, you'll see their entire lineup of solar products. Everything ranging from portable power stations much smaller than this one, to even larger power stations than what we have powering our cabin. This variety, along with the dependability that we have experienced using BLUETTI products here on the Runaway Ranch, makes them our favorite brand for power stations like these. So thanks again to BLUETTI helping us, our animals, and our garden live comfortably here off-grid.
Girls, what are you doing out here? Are you chewing some cud? Been having the girls out free ranging. They've just been enjoying it and they're really good. So they've been able to eat and do whatever they want, but I don't even think we've shown you guys Floppy yet. Goats are the biggest cuddlers. They cuddle like crazy. So this is Miss Floppy. We call her Miss Flip Flops. She is the newest member of our herd. She is also a Nigerian dwarf. And fingers crossed, the reason we got her later than the other two girls, trying to get her bred at the farm that she was already at before. So we think we did it. It's only been about a month, so the signs are still up and down. Fingers crossed she's pregnant. She will be carrying our first babies, if she's pregnant. She'll be carrying our first babies here at the Runaway Ranch.
While we talk all about the great things about our goats,
Which is a lot of great things.
there's also some negatives. They really change your life a lot. As soon as you have these goats, and this is true with like most livestock. Ow, stop biting me. You have a lot more responsibility. The ability to leave our property now is really hard. Especially when you have a goat and milk like Charlotte, you need to milk her every day.
There's not an option. You have to milk her out.
Yeah, so that makes, like, even for us just leaving for a long weekend, a little bit more of a challenge. Thankfully, we do have our friends that are our neighbors that can help out, but obviously that's just not something you want to put on a friend all the time.
And another big con, I guess you would say, of having goats is the parasites and the mineral needs that they have are just a little bit more specific than other animals.
And more detrimental if they're off.
And
I think
quick.
that's the biggest part.
You know, like you have to be aware of what your animals need really fast, and they just have a couple more requirements than other animals may have.
Yep.
So
yeah,
you
the
just
minerals
have to do
are
your
very
research.
specific, and with parasites, like goats have worms. It's not like us where if you have parasites or worms, it's a horrible thing. It's normal for them to have them. It's expected for them to have them. It's
just how many?
Yeah, just how many. So that's something that you need to monitor. It's something that you need to consider on where you're raising them. If it's fresh pasture, if it's knee-high grass, if they're staying in the same pen all the time. So these are just things that make your life a little more complicated when you have goats. But you also got little baby Sophias to keep you company, and I think that might offset those negatives a little. Look how sweet.
Her right now, she's got a milk belly.
Yeah.
That's why she's like this right now. She's got a full milk belly. Ew. Let's see it.
Ooh, goat cheese. Oh, it's definitely better than the last time, honey.
Oh my gosh,
It actually held form. The last time it was super crumbly. Look at that.
Wow, baby.
So we got a little snack for ourselves. Cucumbers from our garden, tomatoes from our garden, the more firm goat cheese that we made right here, really nice. And then more of like a traditional goat cheese where I added that extra milk and it's a little more like a spread.
And honey.
Yeah, and with honey.
And with honey, so it's like a spread.
So
this is like farm to table right here, baby.
it is, and this is actually our first like heirloom tomato that we had out of the garden. All the rest were just more of a typical tomato. Is it good?
Oh my god, it's really good.
It's so much better than the others. Oh my god.
So our garden actually has been doing okay. I know everybody was very curious about it. We're gonna start making another video about it soon, but it is doing pretty well. So we're pretty happy with it.
in the garden, we had, I think they're called yard-long beans, going really, really well. They just started to peter out. Cucumbers are going crazy right now.
We're gonna ferment some.
Yeah, so actually, potentially today, I'm gonna work on fermenting some, because we cannot keep up with the cucumbers. Tomatoes are doing pretty well too, and I think that's mostly it. Tomatoes, cucumbers, and then we had the beans. Oh yeah, and yeah, we have lots of cayenne peppers, a few banana peppers, so. Yeah.
So it's not doing horrible. It's giving us hope.
Yeah, it's not what we want it to be, but we're getting there. And we have, hang on, hold this. Coming out of our compost, we got spaghetti squash.
Right out of the compost.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's from the spaghetti squash that we bought from the grocery store.
Probably.
That we composted some of the seeds or something.
And then boom.
Yeah, we got 4 of them this size right now, and then there's a few more on the plant. So obviously our compost is very good.
Is doing very well. Okay, honey, but let's talk to them about the cheese. That's what they're here for.
All right, you try it. This is a more firm one. It's like super fresh.
It's just so fresh. It's so like airy and.
Look at that. My fingernails are probably dirty. Don't think it's gonna focus, but.
Ah!
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
I'm going for the. Matt was mad because I didn't make sourdough for this. This is store-bought
Because then,
bread.
if we had sourdough, like she was doing all winter for this
been
plate,
hot.
everything would be from here. I mean, I guess the wheat from the sourdough wouldn't be,
but
Aldi sourdough instead.
It's so nice because it's like the honey and making it smoother just makes it such a perfect spread.
Her dad makes really good hot pepper jelly. We didn't put it on this time because we don't have a ton of the goat cheese, so we just want to savor that goat cheese. But I'm sure it would go really good on it. So there you have it. We got goat cheese. Our garden's actually doing something. Things are starting to come together. I would say still far from a true homestead, but we're working towards it.
And we're seeing some of the fruits of our labor. So that feels good. Thank you guys so much for watching this video.
If you don't already, make sure you subscribe.
And hit that bell.
Cheers, friends. Oh, that's your piece. Bah!
I'm not putting that in.